Today I want to talk about a little more extensively of what we talked about yesterday's episode of 282 of the coming hard times and what to do about them. And we talked a lot about lifestyle design, how your life's being designed for you. And today the title is Lifestyle Design How To. We're going to go a little bit deeper. Today's episode 283. And I want to talk about how to establish your goals, how to get started, some pointers and things that I thought of that I've done in my life that have helped me out. And I hope that this helps you guys to start gaining more freedom in your life and more traction to do what it is that you want to do, regardless whether that's more money, more freedom, whatever it is. That's what I'm looking for today. So let's get started. The first thing on here is establishing your goals. And I think that, how do we do that? I talk to a lot of different people in my life, and I'm very interested in how they're doing things, what their perspectives are. And some of the things I find is that when we start talking about freedom, whether it's financial freedom or just lifestyle freedom, just freedom to take a nap, or you hate their fucking jobs, like how do you transfer doing another job? They just don't know where to start. And it's weird. It's like people are asleep and so educated maybe. I've talked about this before. They're overeducated, so they can't really see things around them. They're using too much science and mathematics and things to equate everything, when really if you come from a feeling space, you'll know. You don't need mathematics or science to tell you that you're not happy or that you're in a place that you don't like. We get to a more of a feeling area in our life, and we start to understand that we're not happy, and there's things that we need to do in order to get to where we need to get to. So establishing your goals, I see a lot of people don't know how to do, and let's talk about that for a minute. The way I look at this is to daydream, to bring this more into a magical, fun way to actually design your life. Now, daydreaming means that you, during the day, while you're driving, while you're laying in bed, to think of the things, to use creative visualization to figure out, well, where would I want to be? What are the things that would make me happy? What are some of the things that would make me feel free? What are the things that inspire me? Because one of the things I look at in my personal life is that I am super inspired to have more freedom in my life, even more than I already have now. Financial freedom just basically to live life, to do things that I want. Just to seek out, to daydream, basically. Like, I think a lot of us are so preoccupied with our jobs and all the shit that's going on around that it's hard for us to focus on these type of things. So what happens with me is I start looking at, I have the time now, the freedom to be able to start gardening and things like that's my deal. I want to be able to teach people how to grow their own food. I want to sell. I've invented a new product for myself from daydreaming. All of this came from my mind, right? One of the things I never knew, I just heard the saying was last year, was Albert Einstein said one of the most powerful experiments he could do was mind experiments. And basically what he did, it was create a visualization. I've talked about this before, where he imagined him chasing the head of light to understand the speed of light, the mathematics and everything. And he found that if I caught up to light, to the head, the bullet head, right, the spearhead of light, if I was able to travel that fast and observe it, time would actually stand still. He just did, I don't understand it, right? All that stuff. I'm a fucking dummy. But one thing I do know is that by daydreaming and visualizing these things in my mind, I started to look to develop my garden system. And I kind of don't have this on my notes. I'm kind of going off a spur here, but it has to do with what we're talking about. So I've developed my systems, my new systems I invented, was looking, what are the problems I have? The mice kept coming in. They were eating all my strawberries and stealing my tomatoes. The ants would come in and they would protect the aphids, which were sucking the life out of my plants. And I figured, I got to get them off the ground. I got to figure out something. So I understood that, if I separate these things, not only do I have to not kill them and spray poison and stuff, it's just not accessible to them, right? And for the ants and things like that, I used axle grease on the footings, the poles of where my gardens are actually suspended. I wanted something completely biodegradable. And I came across burlap sacks, but the burlap sacks rot out. You go to pick them up and the whole thing just falls apart because it's biodegradable. It's natural. What do? We create wire baskets and we line them with the burlap sacks, and that takes care of that. Then I started incorporating, as I talk about a lot, square foot gardening, and my mixtures of soils and things that I can do where I barely use water, like a fraction of the water that most people use. And I took all of my experiences, all the stuff, the knowledge that I gained about hydroponics, aquaponics, aeroponics, it's everything, all the experience of stuff I started out doing, picking, learning and failing and learning and failing and trying and trials and errors and things like that until I finally developed this system where it's almost seamless. It's smooth as shit. And it's beautiful. So establishing your goals, we need to get into our mindset to where we have the freedom and the ability to be able to daydream. And we all have that time. We need to stop watching television and social media. TikTok's fucking crazy, guys. I've been watching it just to kind of learn, get a feel for what's going on. And there's so much information slammed at you constantly where next thing I know, I look up, I've been on it for fucking half an hour. What did I learn? Nothing. There's like half naked girls on there. There's fucking puppy dogs farting. There's fucking pranks being done. None of this is essential or helps my fucking life, yet it's very entertaining and consumes a lot of my time. But the moment I put that down and start daydreaming about my life, going, well, if it is something I want to do, or I want to sit for hours and hours and watch things like TikTok, how do I get there? What do I do? So I would daydream of where I want to go and how I'm going to get there. So once you daydream, you have to, I think it's just that, it's a daydream. Now we have to take, I have it here on my next notes, is take a reality check on those things. So a lot of us think that we want to go do things, like go live out in the country in the middle of fucking nowhere. But a lot of people, the majority, almost 99% of people, are very social creatures. They need to socialize, otherwise they'll go fucking bonkers. So I've seen a lot of people who went and did such things, invested their money, their time. Some of them lost everything. They moved back to the fucking city where they were happier, right? Or in somewhere in the middle. So it takes time to take a reality check and to actually start incorporating and do some daydreaming on your daydream, if that makes sense. Imagine yourself there. Start thinking. One thing that I love to do is destroy my dreams, right? And this is absolutely perfect. You may be going, what? This is profound. This is, what the fuck are you even talking about? And one thing I like to do even better is I like to invite other people to destroy my dreams. I've talked a lot about this before, because if you feel confident in yourself with your beliefs and the things that you have, the goals, and your lifestyle design is going so good, there's really nothing anybody could do or say that could damage it, because you have results. Or you just know what the fuck you're talking about, or you know that you feel comfortable. Right? And you're not arrogant that you're looking going, no, this couldn't be better. Nobody else knows shit. I got everything all fucking figured out. But you do know that if somebody aggressively, you're just negatively are trying to tear down your life, and you're looking going, dude, I've got everything I fucking need. I don't really need you or need anything else. You are comfortable. So those are ways that I think taking a reality check, take a look at your, when you're living your life, it's hard to see. You're stuck in your own, right? Like for me, it's really easy for me to look at other people and judge and say, well, this is what this person should do. Even though I know a lot of it, like 80% of what I visualize that I see people doing, I see as awesome advice. In fact, I've given advice and really helped out some people where they were like, fuck, that was really good. Dude, thank you. Right? And I've had people do the same for me. An outside perspective, you see a hell of a lot more going on. So I invite you guys to talk to people and take constructive criticism. Sure, you may not like what you hear, but if you're angry at it, there must be a problem. Find out what you're being angry at. My thing is to write everything down when you daydream. Take everything, take this negativity, take these thoughts that these people are telling you that bothers the shit out of you, write them down. This is a gift. I know that it's probably hard for you to understand, but follow me through. Take what's bothering you about what that person said and why you're emotionally charged about it, and ask yourself, is this true? Or could this be a reality? And what you're going to find is you're going to want to add on to that negativity, that thought where this is why it's not going to work for you. You know, for instance, living out in the fucking country. You know, you're a social butterfly. Look at that and say, am I a social butterfly? Start to observe yourself during the day-to-day living that you do. And are you really, would you be happy living? And imagine these things. Then extrapolate upon those negative things and say, since I'm a social butterfly, what are things that I can do that would help me to get to where I want to go? And what you're going to do is, if you start writing down a list of all these things, and I know it sounds like crazy, but, you know, like write a list, like, yeah. This is like a business, right? This is like a plan. If you don't plan your life, it's going to be planned for you, and you pretty much could plan on failing, right? If you're just shooting off the hip, you don't know, you have no budget, you're working really hard, you're working 2 jobs, for instance, and you have no idea, how the fuck are you supposed to save money? How are you supposed to get out of the place that you don't like when you don't even know how much you could afford? That's why a lot of people make stupid mistakes where they'll go and rent or buy a bigger house, get further into debt, and then some little thing that they couldn't think of, right? And we can't think of everything. Nobody can. But some simple little things happen to where everything's taken away from them. They lost everything. That's a lot worse, I think, than somebody giving you a negative on why your shit is not going to work. I think I love to take all of the negatives as possible, write them down, come up with a fucking plan to say, now let's move forward. Now let's focus on what you can instead of what you can't, why you can't. So I see a lot of this in my life as well, as a lot of people focusing on, I'm just one person, the government right now, I can have nothing, there's no control, inflation's got me, I've got to rent a house, I've got to do this, I've got to do, who says you have to fucking do that? Who's holding you back? We talked about this last week. You are holding you back. Not all of it, but a great percentage. There's a lot of energy that I see people spending on why they can't do shit, why shit's difficult, when you need to learn from a lot of the successful people. That's what they said. Stop thinking about how I can't afford to invest, say, in real estate, and start thinking about how you can. For me, I'm not sure if I want to invest in real estate. I've aligned and positioned my life where I could do so. I have the funds and things to make that happen, which are inflation's killing right now. But there's other things that I can do. I've got the money in the bank. I've got the freedom, so I'm able to kind of make a decision, right? So I've worked on, yes, I can do this, or I can do something else with this money. So I started focusing on, well, what do I need to do? What I need is fucking money, right? If you're going to invest, you kind of need some Zanky, some coin to do something. So before you even think about doing anything else, there's sequence of events that need to happen, which we're going to talk about. So we come up with the money, we're educating ourselves, we're trying to figure out where we're going to go, how we're going to do it. So we start focusing on how. I'm going to talk about simple living and how low overhead, all that always wins out in the end. But you got to start thinking about what you need, the sequence of events that need to happen in order for you to get to where you want to go. Most of the time, I think with anything, whether you were going to start a farming project or you were going to start a shop of some sort, like woodworking, make cabinetry, do you know how to do all those things? And do you know all the components that need to go with them? You want to start a cabinetry fabrication shop, right? What's the competition? Go out there and research the competition. What are the startup funds? Do you have the tools? First of all, hopefully you have the experience where you're like, dude, I know I can make shit that people want to buy, right? The free market, I think, is what they call it. Doesn't give a shit whether you're male, female, black, white, green, purple, whatever. Everybody is going to buy good shit. You need to honestly take a reality check, going backwards a little bit. Is the shit you're producing the stuff that people want to actually purchase? Is it that good enough, right? Present it to other people. And, you're going to get people, that sucks. That's the greatest fucking thing, whatever. You can believe in yourself all you want, but realistically take a reality check and figure out if this is what's right for you and is it right for the market. And if you're going to make some changes in your life, like move out in the country, is this something that's really going to make you happy, right? So in these sequence of events, all these things, you want to go live off the land, we need to start getting experience. We just need to start educating ourselves. So are you willing to give up a lot of conveniences that you have, these events, to focus on the sequences of things that you need to do to get to where your dream is moving from a daydream into an actual reality? So this is lifestyle design how-to. Sequence of events, we talked about that. I want to jump into jumping in or tapering. Now this is really, really important. I've met people in my life that I've asked advice and they're like, dude, if you love it, just fucking go balls deep, just jump both feet in, jump in the pool and just get it over with and do it. Sometimes I agree with that. Most of the time I don't. I think that there's a lot of sequence of events that need to happen before you just jump into something. So for instance, for me, what I see for myself, I'm pretty much debt free, but I know a lot of people aren't. And I think that you need to come up with a plan to get rid of a lot of your debt. You need to start coming up with a plan to get things paid off. For instance, with me, I can tell you guys, I moved in with my grandfather back when I was in my 30s. And me and my two kids, one of my children were born in the hospital right down the street from my grandfather's house. I paid off all my debt. I had a brand new truck at the time, a newish car for the Xbox, the X-Lady, and we paid everything off. And she watched the kids. She didn't work. I worked my ass off. We didn't really pay any rent. At nighttime, I'd help my grandfather fix his plumbing and painting his house and things like that for exchange and keeping up yard work. And he was more than happy to have us. Didn't want us to go. But yeah, I closed a lot of my loose ends. I think that in order to design your life, to get away from the design that we have here currently, the conveniences and things we have in our life, we have to close all those loose ends, get rid of them, and start getting ourselves into a new lifestyle design to figure out what you want to do. Because you realize, like, you want freedom and you want to eat healthy foods, good tasting foods. You want time to take a nap. Maybe you want to go on vacations and stuff like that. The lifestyle design that the majority of us live in right now does not afford those type of things. It's non-existent. And I think we need to wake up and look at that as a reality and say, yeah, this is not working out for me. So that means that we have to replace it with something. So that's what we say, designing your life, lifestyle design, how to. These are the big things that we need to do. So closing up a lot of those loose ends of the old life, the old lifestyle design, and then starting to knit and create, fabricate the lifestyle design that you want now. And you need to know where you're going, right? When an airplane takes off from with cargo, from wherever, from Australia coming to the United States, it needs to have a destination. It needs to know how much fuel it's got. There's many things that need to happen in order for it to get from side A to B. I don't know why I can't fucking think from. Anyways, from one area to another. The same thing with your life, as I said. You need to come up with a plan. A written plan is usually better, and also to experiment to see poke holes in that bucket and see where you can cause it to leak until you get it just right. So planning is pretty much everything, guys. And on a word here, I need to wet my whistle here real quick. A word here is that it always revolves around money. If you guys notice that, watch all your dreams, watch all the things you want to do. Maybe you even want to get away from money. I don't want to live with money anymore. You still have debt. You still got to buy a pair of shoes to go walking. You probably should get yourself a backpack unless you know how to make these things. And where are you going to go hunt an animal and make moccasins? You got to get a permit, right? It's basically, to cut the shit out, is we're pretty trapped, right? And there's many different variables of things. I know you can go trash bin hunting, and stuff like that, but it's highly unlikely you're going to find a pair of shoes that fit you, right off the bat. It's not impossible, but it always revolves around money, I think. And whether you're going to throw it that lifestyle, I don't want to deal with money anymore, or you just want to do what you're doing, you want to progress forward, some sort of money is going to have to happen. So I think that's some financial planning. So I think that's very important and a very high key in what we are doing in our lives as we move forward, to really take that into realization that you're going to have to learn to budget. You're going to have to learn to figure out how you can live within your means, and maybe how you can make more money, or how you're going to live with less. If you're going to live with less like I do, are you willing to eat hard-boiled eggs for lunch every single day, right? Every work day. Are you willing to do the work to make a bunch of hard-boiled eggs and, peel them and sack them up and take them every morning and pack your own fucking lunch? Or do you want to just go spend, $10, $15 every day on lunch and a coffee enema, right? So it's your choice, but it does revolve around money, and it does revolve around some sort of plan. So the last thing I have on my notes here is that low overhead, simple living always wins. Always hands fucking down. I've said this before on the show. I don't give a shit whether you want to be a millionaire. I don't give a shit if you want to live simple, right? If you want to just have more time, more freedom. What does everybody do? What is the story of Elon Musk? You look it up yourself. He lived in his fucking office, bathed in his fucking sink, didn't even have a shower, right? Probably washing his dirty fucking balls in the sink, which is disgusting. Hopefully he had some fucking disinfectant cleaners there for his balls and his fucking sink, you know. But no, but he lived on hot dogs, he said, which is fucking gross. I'm like, dude, you don't have to do that. You know, there's shit that's fucking, that's just oatmeals and all kinds of different things you could do. That's a lot healthier for you. But if you look at what people have done who are successful, such as Elon Musk, which I believe is one of the wealthiest men on the planet, that's what they had to do, right? So that's why I've chosen in my life right now, I live very simple, very down to the wire. But you know what? I eat the greatest food on the planet. I have time to grow my own food. I eat sushi pretty much whenever I fucking want. Every Saturday, we have barbecue Saturday where I cook up a bunch of wonderful shit. This weekend, you know, me and my daughter, we get so excited. I got like green apple cinnamon kombucha, and we have black cherry mint lime kombucha, and yeah, and I'm doing the whole sober October thing too, by the way, like the Joe Rogan thing where you don't drink anything, no alcohol, no weed, no, even though I'm not really a weed person, but we're gonna flesh out for an entire week. But yeah, we're doing old Russian style meats this weekend, and spring rolls loaded with avocado and crab meats and whatever vegetables I can get, with some cilantro and lettuce and things like that. So a bunch of yummy, tasty foods, and we're able to do that, right? We're able to do that because of the simple life that we live. But I look at the amount of time and energy that one individual would have to do to find out what they want. See, what the very big significance, I think, in my life, which I want to share with you, is that because I live simple, because I live in a 29-foot trailer fixed on a fixed lot that I pay rent for, a third of what, or even a quarter, in some cases, of what most people pay for a house where I live, I'm able to do experiments, to actually go start new businesses and see if I like them at all, right? Then I just go right back. It's a safety net. All right, I'm like, you know what? It wasn't all that I thought it was going to be. So I just go back to my simple life, and I continue doing what I'm doing because the overhead is super low. It affords you to make mistakes, whereas I think people are cemented into large capitals, you know, lots of overhead money. One mistake could cost you everything. So don't jump in, I think. Taper off. Get yourself into an area where I think the best thing that people could do is move in with somebody else. Get rid of all of your debt as quickly as you can. Go under the wire. Don't eat fucking hot dogs. You know, eat fucking, you know, beans and rice with. There's plenty of stuff you can make. You know, I don't know if people want to hear about the meals and stuff that I've cooked, and you can even continue to do. You know, I can give you a whole list of things that you don't have to eat hot dogs. You know, it's way healthier for you and way less time too. So. Yeah, let me know in the comments below if you guys what you guys want to hear about. Please let me know if this stuff is helping you. I'm very concerned for everybody with these hard times coming on, and I'm very dazzled and excited to know that my lifestyle is really working great for me, and I hope to be, if this never gets heard or never goes anywhere, to be the example for my children to look at and say, hey, we don't got to eat the shit sandwich. There's a whole nother way of living and things that we can do. We don't need to be here doing this. So, guys, that's the show. Like it if you like it. Don't if you don't. As I always, down in the descriptions below, you guys can message me. So go out there and have yourself a near life experience. Don't lose your muchness. Carry on the fire. Human up. Live it, love it, own it, and bone it, my friends.